Hello and welcome back to The Poland. Today we're embarking on a journey that crosses an ocean and spans nearly 2 centuries. A journey into the foundational story of Canada, built piece by deliberate piece by the hands of Polish pioneers. When you look at the majestic skylines of Montreal or the sprawling infrastructure of Toronto, you see a mosaic of contributions. But beneath the surface, there is an essential, often untold chapter. The profound influence of Polish resilience and ingenuity in shaping Canada's urban heart. It's a story of political exiles, determined farmers, and brilliant engineers who took the trauma of a divided homeland and channeled it into building a new one, stronger, connected, and culturally rich. We're not just talking about citizens, we're talking about architects of nationhood. By the end of this video, you will look at Canada's cities with a fresh appreciation for the Polish spirit. But before we lay the first brick of this historical exploration, if you value stories of Polish heritage and global impact, please take a moment to hit that subscribe button right now. Your support helps us tell these vital stories. Polish immigration to Canada wasn't a single stream. It was a series of distinct waves, each arriving with different motivations and needs, but united by an unbreakable determination. We can generally categorize these movements into 3 major periods. The first wave, beginning around the mid-19th century, was characterized by political upheaval. These were often highly educated professionals, political exiles fleeing the failed uprisings against the partitioning powers. They weren't seeking economic opportunity as much as freedom, and Canada welcomed their specialized skills. These early pioneers immediately integrated into developing the country's nascent infrastructure and civil service, setting the stage for Polish involvement in high-level engineering. The second wave, peaking before the First World War, was primarily economic. Driven by poverty and land scarcity in occupied Polish territories, hundreds of thousands of immigrants sought a better life. They became the backbone of Western Canada's agricultural expansion, but many filtered into the growing urban centers like Winnipeg and Edmonton, providing the raw, determined labor required for industrialization. Then came the third wave, following the devastation of the 2 world wars and the subsequent imposition of communism. This wave included military veterans, displaced persons, and a new generation of intellectuals and scientists. This infusion of skilled, determined labor became absolutely critical during Canada's post-war building boom, cementing the cultural enclaves we recognize today in cities like Toronto, Montreal, and Vancouver. Every single wave brought with it not just a person, but a skill set, a desire for freedom, and a fierce resilience, the very qualities needed to tame and build a vast country. If we're looking for the most tangible evidence of Polish ingenuity in Canada's foundation, we must look no further than the man who literally laid the tracks for urban expansion, Sir Casimir Gzowski. Born in 1813 in Russian-occupied Poland, Gzowski was a political exile who arrived in North America after being exiled for his involvement in the November Uprising. He was a brilliant civil engineer, and his arrival coincided perfectly with Canada's age of rapid expansion. Gzowski wasn't just an engineer, he was the engineer who defined a significant portion of early Canada's infrastructure. He was instrumental in building Canada's early railway systems, harbors, and municipal infrastructures, particularly across Ontario. As an executive on the Grand Trunk Railway, he oversaw monumental projects that knitted disparate towns into a cohesive economic fabric. Think about the bridges, the viaducts, the complex grading needed to run a railway through Canadian wilderness. Gzowski was the technical mind behind it all. His most celebrated works facilitated urban growth and intercity trade, turning settlements into commercial hubs. His work didn't just construct buildings, it manufactured the economic connectivity that made Canadian urban life possible. His successful career earned him the respect of the Canadian establishment, culminating in his knighthood and his appointment as Lieutenant Governor of Ontario. Gzowski's legacy cemented Polish engineers as central figures in Canadian civil planning and large-scale infrastructure, establishing a tradition of excellence that continues to this day. While Gzowski built the steel arteries, the broader Polish communities were building the very heart and soul of the cities they settled in. Beyond infrastructure, they enriched the cultural landscape by establishing robust, self-sustaining institutions that acted as community anchors. In cities like Winnipeg, which saw a massive influx of Polish settlers in the early 20th century, and major centers like Toronto and Montreal, the first order of business was always to create the Doi Polski, the Polish homes, and their local parishes. These institutions were far more than just buildings. They were essential bastions of identity preservation. They were schools where Polish was taught, theaters where traditional plays were staged, banks for mutual aid, and meeting halls for political and social organization. In a new, often challenging country, the Polish home was literally home. Architecturally, the construction of Polish Catholic churches often introduced distinctive Eastern European elements. Think of the intricate, often ornate details, the unique dome shapes, and the rich interior artistry that spoke of centuries of European tradition. These structures, built with dedication and limited resources, subtly influenced the local vernacular architecture, adding a unique, rich cultural depth to city blocks that might otherwise have been architecturally uniform. The Polish contribution to the urban fabric is therefore dual. It is structural, yes, but it is also social. It's a commitment to maintaining heritage while simultaneously committing wholly to the Canadian future. This effort ensures that Polish identity is not simply maintained in Canada, but actively contributes a vibrant thread to the multicultural mosaic that defines modern Canadian urban life. The story of Polish resilience in Canada is a powerful testament to the idea that a nation's strength is measured not just by its size, but by the determination of its people. The pioneers who came here, whether fleeing tyranny or seeking a brighter future, didn't just find a place to live, they found a place to build. From the engineering marvels that defined our railway networks to the vibrant community centers that keep language and tradition alive, Polish immigrants were, and continue to be, active founders and shapers of the Canadian landscape. The cities we recognize today, interconnected by railways, defined by diverse institutions, and strengthened by a rich human history, owe an undeniable debt to the ingenuity and unwavering spirit of these pioneers. Their journey is a powerful reminder that history is often built by those whose stories are often overlooked. And that's why we bring these stories to you on the Poland. Before you go, if this exploration resonated with you, and if you have family or friends whose stories echo this journey, please hit the like button on this video. And more importantly, share it with your community. Let's help make sure this essential chapter of Canadian history is told far and wide. What other Polish contributions would you like us to explore next? Tell us in the comments below. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time on the Poland.